Heyo, it's Gizmo. Hello lads and lasses, and welcome back to another episode of Satisfactory. Last time we left off, we started the game. Literally just started the game. We got everything set up, so we've got some of our processes automated, such as our power, some of the iron processes, and we even have the concrete process automated as well. Now, it hasn't been running for that long. I haven't been gone for that long. So we have a very small amount of concrete, but that's not that big of a deal. You can see we got 63 out of 200. Well, today what I'd like to do is start getting a lot of other things automated and increasing the power output that we currently have for all of our stuff. So I'd also like to get some research done, because we do have access to, if we go to Q, the special... Oh, we don't have access to it yet. Never mind, we don't. Just kidding. But we can get the space elevator created. It's just going to take a lot of work. And so what I'd like to do is start getting the copper area automated, as well as the rest of the iron, because we have two other... I don't know why this came back. That's weird. But we have... That's super weird that these came back. But we have two other iron locations that we need to automate as well. So I'm going to grab all of that. Yeah, that's weird that it did that. Huh. How very odd. So anyways, we want to get everything automated, so we're going to get all of the copper, all of the iron, and hopefully pretty much everything else automated, for the most part, today. And then the concrete will probably be the biggest deal. That's going to be the slowest part of this process that we're going to have. I'm going to make some concrete. I can make 24. We need 200. Yeah, so we just need a ton more concrete. So let's go ahead and start working on everything else before we move on. So, alright, let's see. So I need more miners, which means I need 10 concrete. Okay, well that's possible. Let's go ahead and grab the concrete in here and go place down some more miners. So this will be here, like so, and then we're going to place another one over here, and that'll give us most of the iron completed. Pick up miner and place down a miner. Yep, then what we need to do is pull all of this out. So we're going to go ahead and create a belt system that runs it kind of far. I want everything to be, for the most part, built in somewhat of the same area. So, for instance, all of our foundries will be in the same area, everything else, well, smelters and everything else will be in the same area for the most part. Alright. So I can set this guy up here, like so. We'll connect it to this guy. Get it on the right track. There we go. Then I can do another one right next to it. Smelter. And I need more copper wire. What we can do is go ahead and place this guy to there. And this guy's already connected. And a little bit more of the copper, which I don't have any copper ingots for, so that's fine. I do have a copper area right here. I do not have a copper area. Okay. So we'll have to go over here, grab the copper that we do have from over here. In the meantime, I can set up the power to these guys. So we're going to take a power pole, and we'll run it right here. Set up. I don't have any cable. Okay, well, we've got that set up now. So, can I build a platform up there? I can. Just rotate it slightly. Rotate it. And bring it all the way down here. And we can go ahead up here and grab this guy. So that noise will stop. It is a summer sloop.
The Summer Sloop was named after Marie Somerville, co-founder of Fixit and head of its R&D department. There are many theories about the origin of this shape and why this symbol, mathematically resembling a Mobius strip, has found its way into both human and extraterrestrial culture. Thankfully, you don't need to know any of these theories to be a pioneer. Store it for later use. Fun fact: The planet you are on was found and named during a planet spotting event Marie hosted called Marie's Awesome Scientific Search of the Avant-Garde Exoplanets.
Yeah, so for some reason all of those things pop back up, and so we have to destroy them again to actually get to our miners. A little weird, I've never seen that happen before, but it is what it is. Alright, so now we have the summer sloop. That's one of the story elements that we need. Then I've got the copper, so now I just need to make the copper ingots into the wire and the cable. Alright, there we go. So now that should be enough copper wire and enough copper cable. So go ahead and hook this up to the power. Then I can make another smelter. This guy will be placed right to the right side of this, like so. And this guy can be hooked up to this guy. Then what we can do is take another power pole over here, take it to that, and we can take another power pole here, over here, and hook those guys up. So now we've got this iron automated, and that iron automated. So all of these guys are being automated. Just have to process the iron ingot, and we're all good to go. So that's 3 separate guys being automated for iron. You can see our max consumption is currently 60 megawatts, and that's the power that we're outputting. So we will have to do another output for power eventually. See how our concrete is doing so far. 63 out of 200. Alright, 77 out of 200. So that's not too bad. So if we place it on 140 out of 200, then I can make 24. So if I make this myself, we should be pretty darn close to 200. We'll be 16 away, or not 16, so 24, 40, 64. We'll be 36 away. Which will be made pretty quickly by that guy. Oh, boom, there we go. Alright. And that'll get us the base stuff. And the reason that we're doing the base stuff first before any of the other stuff is because I want to set up my base to be cohesive. Like, I want it to make sense. And by setting it up first, that'll help it make sense. So now everything's together. All the smelters are together, except for this smelter, but we can change it up eventually. So the smelter's together. This is making the iron plate, which we have plenty of. Then that is making the rods, and then this is just making iron, so not worried about that. The next thing we need to do is start automating the copper, and so in order to do that, I'm going to need a ton of power lines, which means a ton of concrete and a ton of copper wire. So go ahead and grab the copper ingots, resupply it with some copper ore, grab all of the concrete, and then just make some copper wire. Lots of copper wire. And now one thing I could do is actually, let's go ahead and do that. So if I set up a constructor, real quick on the end of this guy, what we're gonna get is us not having enough room. Okay. So you can go away, and you can come out here. Smelter here, and a constructor out here. So, like this. Not really what I meant. We'll fix that real quick. I don't know why it placed weirdly, but it did. 5, and then 6, 7. If I hit 5, and we place this right in front of this guy. There we go, now it's matched up. So this is copper. Place in the copper ore, and then you will be the wire. Then, we have everything automated. So now the copper wire is automated, so we don't have to worry about it as much, which will be very, very nice for us, because it's annoying doing it by hand. Go ahead and take that, and make some by hand for now, because I'm not that worried about it. Because we need some copper wire and some copper cable, or, well, just regular cable for the power to the copper area. So, I'm gonna get that done, and grab a couple cables, 10, or close to 10. Then all we have to do is grab this power pole out to the copper area. Let's see. Wire's too long. And you can come up here in between these two copper areas. Then all you have to do is press 1 and place down a miner. So pick up miner, 1, down. Same with over here. Get rid of this rock. Don't care about the copper ore. Alright, pick you up and 1. And I need more concrete. Alright. But that will be the automation of copper ore. Then I just need to make a smelter, technically. I can grab these area. Alright. And you just have to be set up to this. You can be made over here. You connect to this guy. And copper ingot. So now we have copper ingots being automated as well. And if I wanted to, I could move the wire maker over to here. I'm going to leave it where it is, just so we have one close to base. And again, I'm not hugely worried about that. Alright. Let's go back and grab our concrete. I should have enough now. Yep, 50. Plenty. Cool. So we can go ahead and place that in, and boom! Now we have access to base building.
Milestone
So
reached.
under foundations, you
Several
got
new structures are now
foundations,
available for
you got
improving
walls.
factory organization. Foundations
We're gonna go ahead and grab
provide a building
foundations
grid,
onto
which
7.
makes it easier to manage
We'll do
placement of
walls
any
onto
structure.
8.
In
I'll
the
do
event that
ramps
you are
on the 9.
experiencing amnesia
7.
for all events prior to planetfall,
So it uses concrete
be
and
reassured
iron.
that memories of
So we just need
beloved
a ton of
humans and
concrete.
or animals would have only been distractions from your important mission.
So basically what we're going to do is now we can start organizing our base, and so it'll look a lot neater, and that will help us quite a bit. So I like having things look neat and organized, and that's why I went with this first. It just makes more sense. So we're going to go ahead and place down some foundations. So I like to always use 4s or 2s. I don't use the 1s so much. Just because I don't really like... There's a reason for that, and it's just things don't connect very well to 1s, but if you use your 4s and 2s, you're usually pretty good. Build mode, dupe. Everyone. And I can only create one more. So 7, 4. Alright. So now what we're going to do is start moving everything over to these platforms. They are kind of high up, but we want that because any bumps that we come across, this will probably go over top of them pretty easily. So then the first thing we're going to do is move this guy. I need it to be 6 long though, not the 4 long that it currently is, or the 2 long I mean. So we can go ahead over here, and for the next one we're going to go with logistics. And the biggest reason for that is because logistics is going to give us splitters and mergers, which is going to help us out tremendously. But I wanted to make sure that our base was set up first. Can you get, move, get out of here. Move. Okay. Now can you move? Oh, thank you. You know, if you don't come around again, it would be great. Alright, go ahead and build out this guy. Like so. And then we can go ahead and start moving this on top of it. So these 2 constructors. That guy can stay. Wow, this thing is burning real slow, huh? Alright. Let's go ahead and place down those 2 constructors. So down here, you can see the things automatically snap to the grid system for the floors, which is, again, why I had it set up like this. Alright, and if you want to, you can actually hit H and lock the hologram, and then you can nudge it using the up, down, left, and right arrows, so depends on which way you're looking at it, but that's going to work for our purposes. And then the next one just goes right next to that. So what you can do is just take a power pole and place it in between these 2, like so. And then they're connected up like that. Very nice. Alright. And then what you're going to do is take these 2 power... Oops. Take the 2 power things. But what I'm actually going to do is just build 2 more up here. But now that we're going to have these splitters and the mergers, one thing we do have to take care of is the fact that we're going to be running splitters and mergers between these guys. And so we'll be able to have a ton of the biomass going out to different things. And so we need to make sure that what we're doing is going to work in our favor. So basically, we just need to make sure that we're inputting it out to a bunch of different areas. So we're just waiting on that copper. This guy should finish up pretty quickly. Yeah. So we're going to have a bunch of copper wire. Go ahead and place my copper. No, I'll keep my copper. Alright, we almost have the splitters and mergers. That is something that I want to have first before doing all this. So I can make 142. I can basically just finish it off, so I'll make this real quick. Alright, so we got that done. The wire is finished. So now we can go ahead and get these splitters and mergers.
Milestone reached. Conveyor belts can now merge, split, and lift to save space and enhance the productivity of your factory. Fixit encourages you to consider investing in verticality when it comes to factory logistics. If you feel stressed by this complexity, imagine yourself on the shore of a vast and calm ocean. Breathe in. Visualize all the people relying on you. The sea is made of billions of faces, each staring at you with hope and tears in their eyes. Breathe out. Feel refreshed and focused on your duties.
Yeah. So when you're hovering over things like conveyor lift, you can press the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 all the way through 0, and you can place it down pretty quickly. So this is going to give us the ability to make mergers. And so the reason that we're going to have a merger here is because eventually we will have a third option of creating biomass. For now, it's just the 2, but eventually there will be a third. That's what we're going to do. It's actually just create it like this. So this there's a way to do it without worrying about that. I forget what it is. Polygon build mode? Nope. Well, lock holograms. Snap mode. Can I do H and then bump it? I can. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Trying to have it go perfectly straight. So I do this and then hit H and then bump this. There's a way to get it so it doesn't encroach on the building, and I don't remember exactly how to do that. Yeah, I don't remember how to do that. Oh well, we'll just keep it like this. So anyways, there will eventually be a third one that sets up over here and then outputs, but now this guy is going to output, and what we're going to do is have a splitter. So a splitter will come, so press E, so I need cables for splitter. Cool. But eventually what we're going to do is have that splitter, and that splitter is going to run into multiple different machines. And so in order to do that, I'm actually going to basically have it split into 2, and then those 2 can split into however many they need. And so the 2 will split into however many, and then that will split into however many, so it just keeps going and going. All right. We're going to go ahead and have the splitter. You can press E when you have something, if there's another option for it. So, splitter. Get as close as you want. Alright, so now that is being split, and then this can split into multiple options. So we're going to go ahead into power, biomass burner, and then what we can do is just start setting up a bunch of these guys. And so again, because this is split in such a way, what we can do is we're going to actually extend this guy, the foundation, over on both sides, and then that'll give us more room to place down some more burners. So first, we need some more concrete. Good. We're automating the process, which makes it a lot easier for us. Dupe mode. Oh god. Why are you attacking me? Why is there random bugs? That was a random... That was random. Okay, so now that we have this guy set up, make some ramps real quick. There we go. Alright. And you can go away. Cool. So, now, I need more plate. Which I have set up here. You're the plate, yep. Pretty sure. Nope, you're on routes. Your plate. Thank you. Alright. Okay. So now that we have this, imagine that this is the third one, so we're going to have one that's placed right here. And so we need to keep track of that. So we need to go out here. So what we're going to have is a splitter somewhere over here. So that's a merger. Let's take a splitter real quick. We're going to place it right in the center there. We're going to run this guy into this area. Like so. Not quite what I had in mind. Needs to be... So if you want to get this perfect, you can go in front of here and do 1, 2, and it'll be perfectly straight like that. That'll be a splitter, and now this splitter can split into 3. So if I wanted to, I could set up 3 biomass burners, and it'll be split evenly between the 3 of these. So I set this guy up like this, and then I can do another one over here, and then technically I could do one over there too. But what I mean is, now this can go evenly into all of these guys. I don't have the rods. 1, 2. I don't have the rods for this. That's fine. I have rods over here. That's wires. This is rods. Here we go. I don't have any iron. Alright. So I need to make some rods. What I need to do is take this guy, this guy, this guy, and put this guy down here. And start setting up the automation for this. So this will be that, and this will be iron rods. There we go. So now I can start automating the iron rods. I'm going to take the, iron ingots here. You are not powered. There we go. Alright. And make some iron rods myself. Alright, there. That should be good enough. And get back up here. So now we can do this. 1, 2, and straight in. That. So then your belts are pretty close together, you can see. And then we can do a third one over there. Now this will make it so we can do the same exact setup on the opposite side. And if you ever want to add more burners, say that 3 is not enough, what you can do is actually take this output and resplit it again. Have this same setup moved over 1. And so you can split this as many times as you want. And it'll always input evenly into these guys, so it'll never run out at different times. They'll always run out at the same time. And that's kind of what we want, and that's why we're setting it up this way. So that way they never run out at different times. And then what you can do is actually take the power poles and run these guys to be similar. And so this will give your base a pretty nice symmetrical setup. If you like symmetrical. If you don't like symmetrical, then you're just a heathen. You know, that's just how it is. Yep, so we can go ahead and input the plants and stuff into this guy. So we can do biomass leaves and just input all the leaves that you have. And then all over here, you can do biomass wood, and you can input all the wood you have. And then this will output evenly into these 2 biomass burners. So again, they will always be output at the same rate. So you can see this guy will split it evenly as well, which will be very nice. Alright, so now I've got tons of biomass. And I'm inputting the biomass in there just so it can be output for us. You don't have to worry about outputting it. It will just become output. And so now you can see these guys are running together quite nicely. And so now we've increased our power maximum up to 120 megawatts. And again, if we want to add more biomass burners, we can. We just have to split this output. So it's always going to be the secondary output that gets split, not these outputs, because then that'll make it uneven. So you always want to output or split the original output. And again, you can split this original output into 2 as well. But you're always going to have a splitter here for your base. So, alright. Now that that's done, we got more of our power set up. Again, we can move it over too, but I don't have enough... No, I technically do have enough stuff to do that. What was it? How many do I need for this to be even? So after that one. So technically that's that. So then 1, 2. Just 2. Okay. So 1. And that'll be 2. Now, I realize this looks ugly to start because we're in the middle of buildings and stuff, but it'll look much better when we're done. Just trying to get it set up for now. And one more over here. We can go ahead and delete these guys. Alright, and then... Again, we're going to have that other constructor placed down here. So this needs to be set up the same way on this side. So 0. We're going to go ahead and get a splitter. So press E, and you can do it. It's going to be located right here, if I'm correct. Pretty sure I'm correct. Then this guy should go here. Nope. Be part of her. 3. What was it? 2. Basically to this. This guy comes like this. 1, 2. There we go. Alright. So then, this guy is what gets split. You can see it's even. So this guy gets split again into the biomass burners. So Q biomass burner, and we have one that inputs from this guy, and one next to it. So here, that goes in here, okay, goes out to here. So stop trying to connect to something. Nothing to connect to yet. Okay, I got rid of it. I definitely put a foundation somewhere. I didn't want one, but that's fine. Alright. So, 1, 2. And then the power can be run here. And connect to that guy. There we go. So now we've got 4 power areas set back up. And it's all pretty even. Now, these guys won't be even because we didn't start even. So, 25, 1, and then these guys over here will probably be close to max by now. 182, sorry. 81 and 80. Yeah, so what we could do is actually just input some more of this stuff and just give it the 200 that it needs. And just let everything get backed up. Because we have... How much more do we have? 62 coming out. So, eventually everything will get backed up. But we're not using much power. So, 120... So this is our power setup for now. This is what we're going to be running. Again, if you need to increase it, you just output, you split these outputs. All right. So that's our increased output for the power. So now we need to start setting up the automation for iron. So we can go ahead and get rid of this copper area real quick. So what did I just delete? I just deleted something. I have no idea what I just deleted. I don't know. All right, that can go away. And then you. Ooh. All of these guys I'm taking. Again, we're just going to be setting up the iron area, making it a cohesive area. So what we're going to do is take everything away and start building our base off of here. So, I'm going to go ahead and zoop this as far as I want, like that, and we need some more concrete. A lot of this now is just going to be a ton of base building, trying to get things set up, plus running some numbers, make sure that you have everything correct. The numbers aren't that difficult to deal with right now because it's just iron and copper, so it's pretty much standard in the beginning. Eventually we will start getting into other things such as steel, or when we need to start using iron for other things, stuff like that. Or if we have different, what is that called? Alternate crafting recipes, so that'll be a big thing too. The alternate crafting recipes can get a little wild. Alright, so now that we're here, what we're going to do is start setting up our foundry. And so all 3 of these guys will be outputting to the smelters. Jeez, there's so many poles. I don't need like half of these. Like this can go away. And it can be connected to this guy. And then this can go away. And it can be connected to this guy. There we go. And then this guy will get removed as well eventually. But yeah, so we're going to go ahead and start setting up all of the foundries that we have. And so it's 6 smelters, and we're going to place these guys in a decent array. Let's start with 1 in the center here. Go to... And... Actually, if I do it... Oh, God. Let me get back up. Problem is, if I do it that way, then it's not going to be even. So... 2... 6. Let's set it up quick. This. 2. 3. Yeah, these guys are wrong because they're facing the wrong way. These guys are facing the right way. Right. The reason that we have 6 is because these guys will smelt things at a rate of 30 per minute, but the miners, I think, are a rate of 60. I don't actually know because I haven't checked how quick they are, but I'm pretty sure they're at a rate of 60. Double check. Yep, so this guy's at a rate of 60, and so these outputs will have to be split into those guys, and so what we're going to do is basically run a splitter down here. So, splitter, and we will run a splitter like this, essentially. Then it should just be 3 E. Can I not toggle? Conveyor, nope, not conveyor belt mark 1. Conveyor lift. Yeah, okay. So conveyor lift, if I do it like this, go like this. And then another conveyor lift. Sometimes you can cheat your way through this if you do a splitter. And you can kind of like cheat your way into these guys. It's... no. I mean, technically I could do it here. And what I could do is run a belt into this guy. And a belt from here to here. Wait, hold on. So... zero. That's an in, that's an in. Okay, that's an splitter, so an in needs to be over here. Okay, this is out, out, in, here. There we go. So now it's split. So now technically this is split between these two guys. It's not pretty, but it gets the job done. And then we're going to do the same setup for these guys as well. So conveyor lift goes down and rotates, conveyor lift goes down and rotates, and again, down, rotates, down, and rotates. Just like that. And you're going to set up the splitters in the same way, so make sure it's a splitter, it goes out like this, and then one end goes into this guy, so 3, this, and again, like that. And then what we can do is run this guy over to here, and this guy over to here. And now all of those are technically automated efficiently, and they're all running at 100%. Same with all these foundries, they're all running at 100%. So these guys will be outputting 30 a minute. Now all we have to do is grab the power source and run it to in between these guys. I need concrete, okay. It's not, like I said, again, it's not pretty, but if you don't look at it, it's fine. I don't know why those little, like, nodules are coming back. It's weird. My power line between each of these guys. And I am going to have it be in between each one. Usually I don't like doing that, but it looks better in my opinion. Okay. Those should all be lined up. Yep. Cool. So now, that is the entirety of our iron being automated, for the most part. We just have to turn it into the steel and the other stuff. Do this. So you can see, by building it up, we're actually missing this bump up right here and these rocks that can't be removed just yet. So now what we have to do is put down some constructors, and these constructors will do the iron plate, the iron rods, and the screws. So we'll have iron plate, iron rods, and then the screws. And now, is it turned the wrong way? Yeah, they're all turned the wrong way. So, when you're doing this, the one thing you have to be wary of is the fact that we don't have enough room for all of this. So, for instance, these guys don't line up perfectly. And so what you're going to do is set up a bunch of these guys and then split the iron between them efficiently, what they need. So we're going to have, not iron plate, this one is going to be iron rod, this one is going to be iron plate, and then this one is going to be these screws. So you see it uses 10 a minute, this one creates 15 per minute, this one uses 20 per minute. So you're always going to have storage for these guys, which is nice. And this takes in 15, this takes in 30. So this will be here, this, and this will be here like this. Right. But now this isn't, again, this is not a super efficient setup, because right now we just need to have some screws and some plates. We just need this stuff to be automated. But this is the beginning of our iron automation. Once we start automating the rest of it and having these, technically, I could actually take a secondary constructor, and with the plates and screws, I can then make the reinforced plate. So if I take a reinforced plate, then make a constructor, what we can do is build out our base just a little more. And again, this is all interim stuff. It's not going to stay like this. What we need is just stuff to be automated. Because once you start automating things, your base building goes much quicker. So, I'm just trying to get things out of the way for now, and then we will eventually refactor everything. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and take this guy. Cable. Of course I'm missing cable. Actually, you know what? Special crafting bench. Cable. This is what the crafting bench is for. The whole point of it. That's why it's so cheap. You can just place it down if you're missing. 5. Actually, I don't think I can make reinforced iron. Not in this guy. Yeah, nope. So reinforced iron plate's going to take an assembler. So if we go over to the next milestone that we need, field research, into MAM and stuff, so we can place down this whenever we want. Alright, so now we just have to power these guys, so this is already 4 of 4. Okay. This is 3 of 4. Oh, that's 4 of 4 too. How's that 4 of 4? Oh, okay. I'm just gonna place down a power pole between these guys real quick. So power pole should be 1, but I accidentally moved it, so it's not 1. So we'll place it back to 1. There we go. We got a power pole. Place this guy over here. You can come to here. And another one can go over here. There we go. So now everything's being automated. So now we've got the iron plate, we've got the iron rods, and the iron screws. And you can see our max is still 77, so we're running pretty fine with everything we have. It's pretty easy to scale things up eventually. Alright, so this is iron rods. Let's put in 105, get everything backed up really quick. So, alright, so now that we have everything being automated, for the most part, what we need to do is just create more constructors. So I just need cable and reinforced iron plate. And we're going to make a bunch of constructors. because we need to have a lot for the iron automation. We're going to try to get all of that iron automated, just because we are going to need so much of it, and we don't really need that much copper right now at this very moment. We will eventually, but right now we just don't. So, let's see, go ahead and make some screws, which means iron rods. All right, so we've got 8 of those guys. So now we have a ton of constructors. So we can do the math if we want to. So you can see that you've got 20. It uses 30 per minute. This uses 15 per minute. Okay, so for each one of these, you can have one of these, right? So 30 per minute, this outputs 30 per minute. And so what you can have is a 1-to-1 ratio of those. But this is a 2-to-1 ratio. So for every one of these, you need 2 iron rods. So what we're going to do is go ahead and set up some numbers for a decent amount of stuff. Now, the iron plate and the iron rods, they're worth about the same amount. You need kind of both of them. And so we can do 1, 2, 3 iron plate if we want. And that'll get us 60 per minute, which our belts currently run at a rate of 60. So that'll go 60. And then what we can do is 2, 4, 6 iron rods, which will get us at 60 a minute as well. And then we can use 3 of those to make the irons, or the screws, if we want. And that can get us 40, 80, 120. So basically, I need 9 constructors to start with, and we have enough for not 9, but close to. So that'll get us 9 constructors to start with. And 9 constructors will be enough to do what we need to do. So now we just have to set up all 9 constructors in a row and get them all set up. So it won't be that difficult to do, but having the iron rod ones will take a while, so because we have to get those all set up correctly. So for the most part, we're going to go ahead and start at the very edge here. Right here. 1, 2, 3. And so that'll be 4. And then what we do is take this guy, put down a splitter. So the splitter can go into here. And another splitter will go over here. And we're just going to go ahead and take this guy into here, this guy into here, and this guy will go there. This guy will come over to this one. And this will split into this. And this will do the, instead of iron plate, this will actually create iron rods. Same with this one. Rods. Iron rod. And again, iron rod. Alright. So now we're creating 4 of the iron rods, and we're going to turn 3 of these into the screws. So 1, 2, and 3. So now this will be screws and screws. So we don't have any power, just place down a power pole. And another power pole here. See if I can get it correct. Come on. Stop bugging out. Stop. There we go. Oh, okay. And then you can be connected to somebody over here. Directly lined up with these guys. That, and then you can be connected to this guy. And then that's 3 of 4, so then you can then move in between this guy. And a missing cable. Go figure. Now this is going to increase our energy load by quite a bit, and so just be careful of that. Alright, so then you and you, then a power pole down here, which I need, yeah, copper cable for. Alright, what is your major malfunction? No power? You should have power. Oh. Why are you not... I could have sworn I set you up to be connected to that. There we go. Alright, so now we are making a ton of screws. We're making 80 screws a minute. We are making, you can get rid of this guy. Get rid of this guy. He can be set up on iron plate. Alright, so now we are making 80 screws a minute. We're also making some iron rods. Now, the thing that you have to remember is that when you're making these iron rods and into screws, you're only using 10 per minute, but you're creating 15. And so what we're going to do is eventually have these outputs come together and then supply the different screw areas with the iron rods. So basically, each 2 iron rod areas supplies 3 screw areas. And so we'll fix that. But right now, we're just trying to get everything set up. And eventually we will move these smelters so that way they have more space, so the belts don't look like this. Because this belt would go like all the way over here, and then it just wouldn't look nice, so. We will eventually make this area larger, but again, I'm just trying to get things set up so we have stuff being automated, and we don't have to worry about it. Iron rods. Why are you stuck? Oh, you have no power? Oh, because you're not connected to something. Technically speaking, you should be connected to this. And then the way this should work is... each one of these guys should have a separate power pole at the back. So the way I like to run my power poles is that one power pole goes to 2 power poles. And so... yeah, I need copper cable. Do I have my copper area set up still? No. Alright. What I like to do is... I have 1 power pole go to 2, and then 2 go to, like, 2 more, or 1 go to 2 more, so it's always a 1 to 2 split, so the power pole always has extra, and you're not worried about it. Alright, copper ingot. You can start making... wire. There we go. Alright, so now we've got our copper wire being automated. Again. Power grid is shut down. Okay. Wait, what? How did my power grid shut down? And why? You two? No fuel. No fuel. These guys have fuel. 118. 156. Okay. Easy way to fix this. Basically, you just re-input it and then we'll re-output it to be even. This is what I was talking about, because we set them up at different times. They weren't going to be even. And so... now that we put it back in and let it go, this will be even. So I'll put to both of these guys evenly. So you can see it's 1 to 1, 1 to 1. That's why you split it at the beginning and then you resplit it down there. So now that everything's back in, you can restart it. And it'll all run out of fuel at the same time. Yep. So we still have a ton of biomass going out. So it'll be fine. Alright. That should be set back up. What was I working on? What was I doing? Copper. I needed wire. Alright. So as I was saying, each power pole will only supply 2 other power poles, essentially. So... well, technically 3. It'll supply 2 buildings plus a 3rd. And then it'll eventually supply... it's just... so, everything will be maxed out, but you'll always have an extra connection. So, for instance, there should be a power pole back here that supplies 2 of these power poles in between those guys. So, if I take... like this power pole, for instance, it should be connected to a power pole back here. It should be connected to this guy, like this. But it's not, because this guy's connected to this other one. And so this power pole connected to this guy. And then technically this power pole will be connected to another power pole back here. it's a way of leaving you with a bunch of connections for power poles, and you don't really have to worry about anything else. So I think this guy will be connected to another power pole back here. This gets connected to a power pole here, which will be connected to this one, and it will be connected to... Nope, nope, nope. Yep. I can grab this to that. And so these two power poles technically shouldn't be connected together. What I actually do is run another power pole here. And so what happens is all of these guys have a central connection point. And so this is the original power pole, and then this will be supplied to the power area. And then these two split off, and then this splits off again. And so you can see this supplies these two. This one supplies 2 more. So technically this shouldn't be connected to that. This should be connected to this. So this one supplies those two. And then this will supply one plus another. So every time you make a power pole, you make another one behind it in order to get things run correctly. So then this guy shouldn't be connected to this guy. That, because now we have 3 out of 4, and this guy shouldn't be connected to this guy. What we're going to do is run a secondary power pole like this. So now each of these power poles will always have a connection, essentially. So like this guy has a connection, this guy has a connection, all that. So it will always be set up to where your power poles will always have a connection to another power pole, or will always have an available connection to be set up to a power pole. Alright. Now eventually that won't matter once we have the upgraded power poles and they have like 7 connections, and then you just don't care about how many connections each one has, but for now, it's what we need to do. Go ahead and grab some of the stuff we need. So the iron rods are made pretty slowly. That's to be expected. They're only made at a rate of 15 per minute. And I should have an iron plate. There it is. That is all of the iron plate. Should be all of the screws. And then I just need to grab some copper wire. And we should be set up for field research, which will be the MAM. And then we can start doing some MAM research in the next episode, because this one's getting close to the end of its time. We have a little bit of time, probably like 5 more minutes, so I'll get some more stuff knocked out. We will have gotten through the complete tier 1 in under an hour, which will be kind of nice. So copper wire, 135. Yeah, I'll have to make the rest of it by hand. Yeah, so that's we got through the entire tutorial in about 30 minutes. We got through all of tier 1 in about an hour. So we're moving pretty quickly. We're definitely not going to get through tier 2 in under an hour, because that's going to be a lot. Let's go and make some wire real quick. Alright, we got that all done. So now we have the copper wire as well. And now we have field research unlocked.
Milestone reached. Supply the molecular analysis machine, referred to as the MAM, with local resources to research and develop new technologies. Potential technologies include exploration tools, weapons, and factory buildings. These are essential for maximizing your Pioneer efficiency and alignment with Fixit's core pillars: construct, automate, explore, and exploit. To advance Fixit's mission, all notable phenomena, resources, technology, or other influence should be investigated regardless of any perceived danger, as stated in the Pioneer contract.
So we got, and wow, words, mouth, hard. So we went ahead and got tier 1 done. Tier 2, like I said, is going to take a while because it requires a lot of stuff. So granite plate, 500 screws, 200 iron rods, and the 200 cable. Again, some of this stuff isn't that difficult. We might be able to get through some of it, but then we have to start making rotors and automating rotors. We have to start automating some of the higher tier stuff that we get. So things like reinforced iron plate, which is all done in part assembly once we get the assembler. And then we're going to have things like copper sheets, modular frames, and smart plating that we have to start automating. So this is when we're going to start getting into some major things that need to be done. The first thing we're going to start with for tier 2 is going to be obstacle clearing. Now this one will actually be pretty easy for us to get through. I mean, we can put in most of what we have once the pod returns. But the obstacle clearing will help us get down some of these trees so we can get the wood and the leaves for these guys. Got 34 biomass, all right. It'll get us the trees down, so we have some wood and some leaves to input into our biomass creators. And then one thing we're going to do is we're actually going to redo the smelting area. Because what I'm going to do is set up the constructors, and then from there, we'll set up the smelters to go in between the constructors, or to be exactly where they need to be to supply all of the constructors with the stuff that they need. And so, off camera, I'm going to build some constructors, and we're going to place them down on camera for the next one to get this area set up the way it needs to be set up. So, and then, let's see, so I'm actually going to go ahead, and if you hit tab and you go over to the sidebar, you can actually create public notes. So again, if you hit tab, or pretty much anything that brings up some sort of menu, you can go ahead and head over to the sidebar, and you can see once it gets black, if you just click, you've got private notes, public notes, and recipes. So no recipes added. You can add recipes by going to the build menu or the codex. So for instance, if I go to like here, and if you, what is it? Right click on this, you can add it to to-do list, and it'll pop up over there on the equipment workshop. And you can hit edit to-do list, and you can actually go ahead and get rid of these, clear list. We're going to go ahead into public notes, and we're going to put some stuff in. So we're going to go ahead and do the 2 brackets, and what you can do is hit, oops, my caps lock is on, research in the MAM. So set up copper area, finish, iron, destroy trees. And then let's see, research in the MAM, set up copper area, finish iron, destroy trees, and automate everything. When I say automate everything, I just mean like small stuff here and there. But for all intents and purposes, it's fun that way. So once you do that, if you actually just hit, what is it? If you just hit escape, shoot, no, it's not escape. What was it? So finish iron, finish, oops, finish copper, research in destroy trees, and then automate everything. All right, you just hit the X. Yeah, so if you just hit the X, it'll save it. So then you've got that little checklist. Then you can see those brackets give you a little checklist, and if you finish something, you come over here. Inside of it, you can hit X, and then hit X, and you can see it gives you a tiny little X in the center, like it's finished. It's kind of like a handy-dandy little notepad. You remember Blue's Clues? Old enough for Blue's Clues. So now we're going to have all of that for next episode. That's all the stuff we're going to get through, and we'll be doing that at the end of every episode, just kind of going over the goals for next episode and what we want to get through. But as always, folks, if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. It helps me out greatly, and I appreciate everyone that does. Also, if you want to keep up to date on all my past, present, or future videos, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and bell notification so you can stay notified. As always, folks, have a wonderful day. Bye!